Oh my goodness, today is such a big and beautiful and exciting day for so many reasons. Probably a lot of you don't even know or don't even care, but I know a few of you do, and I want to talk about it. Today was the Big Brother Canada Season 12 house drop, and holy crap, I'm so excited for this season. This time last year, I was being released to the world, and I just remember being so nervous and excited and scared and stressed all at the same time. So I'm reminiscing on that, but I'm so pumped to step back into being a viewer and watching the show as a fan. I cannot wait to see the twists and turns that they throw in this season. We know that there's a Hollywood theme, which I am obsessed with. We know that there's 2 returning all-star members from the cast, which I have a couple guesses of my own who that might be, but we'll keep that close to the vest. And I'm just like so pumped to see what they bring this season, but I really want to know what you guys think of the cast so far, so let's talk about it. Great question. I'm going to be very careful with how I answer because I don't know how much I can say, but it was disclosed to us that there wouldn't be live 24-hour running feeds. We didn't know in what capacity that meant, the feeds were coming back. We didn't know it was going to be in the digital daily form. This at the time didn't really change my gameplay because I'm going to go in. I still don't know what's going to happen. So I'm going to play as I go and adapt as I go. But I think if I were to alter anything or go back and really think about there not being live 24-hour feeds, I would probably be a bit more forceful and direct within the DR, when I had DR time, because it's really hard game-wise to show everything that you're doing. So when you get in the DR, you have to make it really clear to at least the audience. So I think in that capacity would have affected it of how it got translated to the audience, but not so much of how I played in the house, if that makes sense. Now, this one I for sure can't answer. I don't confirm nor deny that I will be back on that show. Fingers crossed. You'll have to stay tuned for the season. I would obviously love to be back on the screen again and be in that house, but who knows? Who knows? You know what? Thank you. I appreciate this a lot. I don't know if I'd be ready to jump back into the show completely and do that whole thing again, but the one thing I loved about the show is my DR time, or being in the DR and filming in there. It was always so much fun. So, it would be great to go back and be on it, but maybe you'll see me. Who knows? There are just way too many answers to give for this one, and there's so many people I would love to see back on the screen. I mean, I'm just gonna go with a really top classic good staple. I know she's been back a couple times already, but 3rd time's a charm, baby. I would love to see my girl back on that screen and playing again. I love her so much. I think she's so much fun, and I would love to see how she switches up her strategy the 3rd time around. I've been thinking about this a lot today. It is so weird to live literally 24/7 in one place for basically 3 months and then leave it, just say goodbye, don't even go back, and then see a new round of people in it now. I don't know how I'm going to fare, but I'm excited for it. I want to see how they switch it up. I want to see what they do. I want to see how these house guests last. Everybody was commenting on us last season saying you should have done this, that. Now they're going to see. They're going to see how much trouble they're going to be in. This is one thing I have to rave about in the house. The food selection is always top notch, and you can make personal requests. You'll never go hungry in the house unless you're on slop. You're fed well. That's what I'll say about that. Back at it again, another day, more questions. Let's go. This question I'm very biased to. Obviously, I want to say no one can do it better than the girly pops, but if I'm obviously being realistic, there's some things that the girly pops couldn't do that I'm hoping future girls alliances can do, and hopefully in this season it looks like we have a lot of really strong female presences and a lot of females that kind of want to boot these boys out. So hopefully that works out. They can make a really strong alliance in that way and make it to the end. Let's see it. I'm ready. Another great one that I get often, and I think I'm going to tag him in it just to see if his opinion is any different. But what a lot of people don't know or don't realize because of the lack of live feeds, is that me and Ty actually had a very good personal connection inside of the house, or personal relationship inside of the house. We connected on a lot of things. We're from similar areas. He reminded me of a lot of things back home, so he gave this very good, like, comforting big brother energy, no pun intended. So that was never the issue inside of the house. And of course, was I pissed in the house for that last little leg when he did let me go? Of course. But that's game, and I could put that aside. And when we got outside of the house, we only picked up on the things that we connected on inside of the house, and, you know, just had fun with it. And I think a lot of people would be surprised of, like, how similar we are and how well we get along. So yeah, like, it's not really like a surprise for me that we were able to, like, kick off so well outside of the house, but I think, like, we definitely got way closer than I ever thought we would, which I'm grateful for. I might have a unique opinion about this, but I had no trouble of finding it, like, comfortable. I was overly comfortable of sharing, like, a bedroom and a bathroom with everyone from the cast and being in that environment. I think the amount of time that it takes to prep and the amount of alone time you have before the show starts really puts you in a space that you want to be around people, and, like, you're kind of craving it. So that was super, super comfortable. And I especially lucked out because on the very first night, me and Nene became bedmates, and it was, you know, like that for basically the rest of the season. And I couldn't imagine sharing bed with anybody else. Nene was literally, like, so comforting to have around. And even though I was dying the first couple weeks of that game, she would rub my back every night to bed and give me cuddles and all that fun stuff. So it made it, like, super, super comfortable and warming. And yeah, so I had no issue with it. This is a freaking fantastic question, and I'm gonna try to keep it as short as possible. So let's go. The don'ts in the house, or actually let's start with in the house. I think definitely come in and be adaptable. That's the first thing you want to do. You want to feel out your surroundings. Don't jump into anything too quickly. You know, just catch the vibe. See who you can connect with, number two. And once you get that gut feeling of, like, this could be my person, run with that. Because it's very rare to find that in the house, like, right off the bat, or even throughout the game. Like, I can trust this person. Once you do, you know, stick with that. Three, the do's, like, you know, just get sleep. Train a little bit, eat healthy, try to stay on some sort of a routine, because it's very easy to get thrown off of a routine there, and that will only help put you into a clearer mind to, you know, strategize, talk through things. The don'ts in the house, there's so many don'ts, but the one big don't, because I'm running out of time, is don't walk in there thinking you know how to play that game, because I promise you, you will not know how to play that game. Everything is different every season, and it's never as expected. Just so much fun. I think we are overdue for an all-star season. I know I keep seeing it everywhere. Everybody's like, redemption season, all-star season, like, bring back some of the players. But I think in this way, this is kind of a different twist than just having, like, half all-stars, half newbies. I'm getting kind of like a mentor vibe and maybe like a team vibe. So I'm super excited. I'm sure that the personalities that they're going to pick, I know, like, this cast seems a little bit, like, on the older end and very big, strong personalities. So, you know, the captains have to follow suit and set that energy super, super high. So I think it's going to be freaking fantastic, and I'm curious to see if it changes anybody's strategies or gameplays, because obviously I feel like, as much as they might think, like, some all-stars are coming on, I don't think that the house guests know that they're coming on in this capacity. So I really wonder how that changes the dynamic of the entire game this season. Okay, I don't want to jump the gun and answer this right away, but, you know, I lightly scoped out, like, the cast. I haven't gone through the entire thing in that much detail, but the second that I do, or the second that I watch the first episode, you know that I'm going to have a winner's pick on lock, and I'll be sharing that with you guys, and I'm super excited, but it's looking good. There's some strong potentials that I saw that could be my winner's pick, so hopefully I get it right. Hopefully I get something right for this season. I have no words for this one, but I just want to put it up there and heart. Googly eyes, thank you. You know, I'm not arguing with you on this one. I agree. I just 100% completely agree. I think I would cry. I don't know if you guys would cry. I would bawl my eyes out. To be on the show, even in some way, shape, or form with her, I would die. I think she's freaking hilarious. I think she's amazing. I think she's beautiful. And you know, our DRs would go crazy. I think that's what I would be most excited to do. If I could film a couple DRs with Cassandra, I could die now. I could die happy tomorrow.
Hey man, I just saw the new cast for BBCAN12, and I won't lie to you guys, it looks like a very interesting bunch of individuals, and I'm kind of excited to watch this season, I won't lie to you. And we also are still waiting to find out who the two mystery all-stars are, which is another very exciting element. I have my theories on who I think it is. Won't tell you, but we'll see what happens. But with that said, of the house guests that have been revealed, what are we thinking about them? Let me know right here. And just to kind of piggyback off of what Bestie was saying, she made some really great points in terms of like how we connected on like a very personal level. We had a great personal relationship because, we grew up in the same areas. We still live in the same area. And, we do a lot of the same. We have a very similar way of life. But what I did notice is that a lot of people who are very close inside of the house, that isn't necessarily the case outside. We obviously have a bond that keeps us all connected because that was a crazy experience that we went through together. But what I noticed is that like when you're in there, I noticed a lot of people who would be great friends outside the house were kind of on guard with each other because, when you're so comfortable with strangers for whatever reason, because you have so much in common, it's kind of a red flag to you because you're in the big brother house and you know that you can't trust anybody. So when you trust somebody, naturally, you're kind of like, whoa, I got to pull back. I can't really trust this person. But with people who you don't necessarily click with, you actually trust them a little bit more because you're able to look at them objectively and what they can do for you in the game. So I hope that gives you some insight.